I remember the beat of a house. Any house. Really, it was the beat of a family. I wouldn't call it sight, touch, taste, smell, or sound because it's comprised of all of those and none of them at the same time. It's basic perception that creates meaning, memory in the barest sense of the word. At my aunt and uncle's ranch-style, garden-enclosed, herb-infused house, I never needed anything. My aunt cooked enchiladas and spun intricate webs that turned into dream catchers. I couldn't help with either for fear of hot stove or hot glue gun. The enchiladas stuck to my ribs, but I didn't believe that webs with such big holes could ever catch nightmares that were so small. Sometimes I stood with my bare feet half buried in the dry, overturned earth of my uncle's vegetable garden and wiggled my toes. My feet were burnt if I stood on top, but just beneath the tan surface heat there was cool maroon comfort. Inside, I put on old vinyl albums, The Doors and R.E.M., and spun in circles with my knees to my chest, rotating for a circle and a half, my bony butt burning tracks as it created friction against the hardwood floor. When my uncle mowed the lawn, I sat on the deck and listened to the moaning buzz. When it was loudest, the deck vibrated underneath me. Sometimes we made Kool-Aid together. It was the kind that required sugar. It required enough sugar to taste pink, and the neon yum hung around for the remainder of the day as it settled into the cracks in our lips. I slept on the couch. My sleep was a comfortable safari as the paintings of the elephants on the walls and the exotic potted plants next to the record player drifted through my dreams. The holes in the dreamcatcher were that big. The potpourris that sat in the front hall turned the hot, sticky summer air into the comforting blanket warmth of a bakery or deciduous canopy. I didn't need anything else. Nighttime at Nandy and Papa's was a grab bag. Most nights we checked for coyotes, my brother and I dragging along the massive mag light that doubled as a club in case of emergency. I'd never heard a coyote howl, but I'd seen the fog that appears when they're near and noticed the quieted noise of crickets and tree frogs. I'm lucky that Nandy pointed them out, or I may never have taken our hunt seriously. The best part was after, when we had tucked the horses into their evening vigilance and kissed each goat with a promise of "we'll protect you." After, we were comfy cozy, with buttery bowls of Act II popcorn, listening to crackling taped broadcasts of the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes, fresh from Nandy's childhood. I nestled into my cocoon, snug between Grandma's bed and the wall. The room rattled every so often. It was like an old, interrupted grandfather clock. Not loud. Surrounded, enclosed, pleasantly confined to what I knew for certain in a world that was right in front of me, I slept in the fetal position, and hated waking with the responsibility to emerge. When I woke, it was Papa's world. Always breakfast, always grits. Always the grit of the morning before the sun. Waking in the dark was not a necessity of farm life. Not their farm. Waking in the dark was a necessity and a colloquialism about a worm. I didn't like worms, but I liked grits. Mom and Dad didn't cook grits. They put milk in their scrambled eggs and cumin in their coffee when eggnog was out of season. Never use butter when you can use oil. Whose turn is it to wash the dishes and whose to clear the table? I hate dirty dishwater. After breakfast, play outside. It's a nice day and you'll miss these when it's cold. I didn't frolic or scamper or cavort because I preferred to sit in my tree and read. Okay, if you aren't going to do anything productive, you can mow the lawn. At night, when the only chores meant that I had to be around people, I retreated to Sherlock Holmes in my room. 2 episodes take 1 hour, and then I'm asleep. I wake up, but this time there are cranberry orange muffins. Delectable, made-from-scratch apologies for the weekend. But the car rides to school were always horrible, screechy, resentful, squabbling, bickering testaments to every statement that I was just like my mother. 2 are angrier than 1. Mom says that she's never fought with T that way. She says that she only made her sister's life hard once, and it was over a favorite Knickerbocker teddy bear named Peachy Pie. T says that Mom was a tyrant, not unlike me, who knew just how to take advantage of an unsuspecting younger sibling, starved for the approval of an older sister. I don't think that's fair. T and Dean's house was always about siblings. It was also about the girl, me. 2 sons and my brother. The only girl always got to choose dinner. Spaghetti. Always spaghetti. Petey Cat slept on my stomach at night, and he preferred to watch over me until I fell asleep. Going to sleep was and wasn't difficult. The best way to get rid of Petey was to do what he asked. It didn't matter that cats can't talk. All night the ice maker in the kitchen thrums on and off. Chewy the Labrador scratches his bathroom request on the door, and T must return to the boys' rooms to quiet down their prepubescent trilling giggles. Dean leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the boys are awake a half hour later, playing video games one room away. I have to sleep because I'm not one of the boys, and without rest I won't be able to survive as the girl, the oldest, the most annoying, the weakest, and the most uninterested in hog-tying anything that will give chase, including myself. So, I sleep. At college, I didn't sleep around family. I felt alone. The windows rattled in my apartment, but they didn't sound like any sort of grandfather clock that I'd ever heard. I stove-popped my popcorn because butter isn't healthy, and although I used oil, it never occurred to me to spend my hard-earned money on cumin for my coffee. Eggnog is unhealthy as well. Cassette players are the vinyl of my childhood, and so my Sherlock Holmes tapes were stored in the vain hope that vintage cassette tapes will be vogue in my lifetime. I now know that coyotes don't herald creepy weather, but they did kill my dog. Fresh-grown veggies and herbs are too time-consuming until my uncle retires, so now all the dirt is the same at his house. Now, in my house, with my own family, I realize that dirt is different from one house to the next. My mom grows rosemary in a large ceramic pot on her back deck. I don't really like cumin, but I put cinnamon in my coffee when Starbucks starts using seasonal Christmas cups. Last Christmas, Mom and I found peachy pie in a cardboard box marked Kid Xmas, and we gave T a very special gift with a red bow tied around his neck. Like a new puppy, with the loyalty and wisdom of an old dog who doesn't need any new tricks. I have a new dog, and someday I'll check for coyotes with my daughter, just in case. Afterwards, we'll go inside and I'll give her buttery popcorn. I won't make her listen to old-school radio broadcasts, but I probably won't play Grand Theft Auto with her either. She can read if she wants, right after she does the dishes.